Es reicht für alle. Solidarity means no panic. There is enough for all. The Swiss government encourages the Swiss to be patient. March 20, 2020. We read this in the newspaper, advertised by Migros, Coop, Denner, Aldi, all the business concerns. And this is Stefan Heger talking to you today. And the same leadership was given 2000 years ago. We read in Mark chapter 6 today, from verse 30 onwards to 42, that Jesus gave good leadership to people who were panicking. The disciples were panicking. Jesus feeds the 5,000. Let's read. The apostles gathered around Jesus. They told him all they had done and taught. But many people were coming and going, so they did not even have a chance to eat. When Jesus said to his disciples, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place. You need to get some rest." After Jesus healed the sick and rose the dead people alive and drove out demons, he went away with his disciples to a retreat, a quiet place. And then he said, but there are many people, verse 33, who saw them leaving. They recognized them. They knew what he had done, and they told each other. And it was quite an event in 1st century, around 30 AD. All of Jerusalem and Israel and Palestine and across the Jordan River, they knew what he had done. They ran from all the towns and villages, and they got there ahead of him. When Jesus came ashore, they were already there, and he saw the large crowds. And what happened? He felt deep concern for them. So Jesus had a concern for them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began to teach them many things. And as you know, Jesus is the great shepherd. He says, "I'm the shepherd, the good shepherd, and my sheep hear my voice," in John's Gospel. But here, they came around him, and by that time it was late in the day already. Look, the disciples came to him. "There is nothing here," they said. "It's already very late." So they were concerned. "Send the people away," they said to Jesus. "Tell them to go to the shopping centers to buy something to eat in the nearby countryside and villages, to reach the shops." They were panicking. What? Thousands of people were there around Jesus. And what did Jesus answer? He says, "You, my friends, you give them something to eat." I said to him, "That would take 8 months of a person's pay, 8 months' salary, so much money. Should we go and spend that much on bread? Are we supposed to feed them?" Of course, if thousands of people follow you, you have to do something for them. You can't just preach. They're hungry. And it's a natural thing, it's a normal thing to be hungry. It's not a sin. But how many loaves do you have? Jesus asked. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, "We have 5 loaves and 2 fish. That's what the disciples reported. Look at this. And they found out, Jesus directed them, have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. Okay? So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties. Jesus took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven and he gave thanks. He broke the loaves into pieces. He then gave them to his disciples who sat in front of people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. Verse 42. Look what happened. All of them ate and were satisfied. The disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces of bread and fish. 12 baskets left over. Can you imagine? Verse 44. The number of men who had eaten, just the number of men were counted. Yeah, there were also women and children. And that was a huge miracle. The number of men who had eaten was how many? Do you remember? Read it in verse 44, Mark chapter 6. How many? The number is here written. 5,000. You see that number here? 5,000 men.